Your candidates for Circuit Court Clerk are Cassie Powell Cantrell, Chris Cope, Melanie Milstead, and Dwayne Sherrill.
Welcome, candidates. We'll be starting on the left. You can give your 3-minute opening statement.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank the Young Democrats and Young Republicans for hosting this event. I think it's fantastic that you guys are so interested and involved at such a young age. My name is Cassie Cantrell, and I'm running for Circuit Court Clerk. My parents are Philip Powell and Lori and Tim Woodley. I'm married to Dalton Cantrell, and we have 2 children, Raylan and Nash, who attend Centertown Elementary School. And they went on home since we are still here tonight, and so they can get on into bed. I have 2 sisters as well, Lacey and Salem. I have worked at Gallagher and Newman for 13 years. Well, let me go back. I graduated from high school here in Warren County in 2003. While I was in high school, I worked at Prater's Barbecue. I currently work at Gallagher and Newman, where I have been for 13 years. I began working at Gallagher and Newman as their receptionist. I worked my way up to the job of a legal secretary, and I'm currently serving as their office manager. While I was a paralegal and a legal secretary, I worked very closely with the Circuit Court Clerk's office. I went in there almost daily as a receptionist, and as a legal secretary, I have drafted and filed pleadings in all different types of cases in clerk's offices across the state of Tennessee. As the office manager, I'm currently directly involved in all of the technology in the office. I have been involved in all of the computer software, our telephone systems, and our credit card payment systems as well. I also deal with our payroll, employee relations, and I have experience in managing a fast-paced office. As your circuit, or if elected to be as your circuit court clerk, I would love to put my experience to work for you. I have grown to love and respect this field, and I believe I could be an asset to Warren County. I would like to implement newer technology. Right now, the clerk's office currently uses fax. I would prefer to use email. It saves money for whenever you use less paper and ink for fax, it would be cost effective. I also believe that we should accept credit cards. Currently, the clerk's office does not accept credit card payments. And as you all know, a lot of us do not carry checks or cash. I mean, I do, but a lot of folks do not. I would also like to have a website where we can utilize credit card payments for traffic citations. I would also like to have the website for documents and dockets so that you can go online and see when you have court, if you need to be there at 9 or 1, or if you need to be in circuit, sessions, juvenile court, that sort of thing. So I would appreciate your vote in the upcoming primary, which is May 1st. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Chris Cope, and I'm an independent candidate for Circuit Court Clerk. First of all, I want to thank the Warren County Young Democrats and Republicans for putting this on, and everybody that's here in attendance tonight that's took part in this. And this is not the easiest thing to do. So for all the candidates that's been up here, I know we put ourselves in this situation, but it's still not the easiest thing to do. So everybody should give a hand for all the candidates willing to put themselves out here. But I'm a small business owner for the last 15 years. I own and operate Chris Springs Market. I do all the ins and outs. I don't have a secretary. I'm on secretary, payroll, taxes, and everything. So I know the ins and outs of business and how that runs. I have a 6-year-old daughter, Hennessy. You may hear her on the radio. She does our commercials for Chris Springs Market. So if you're here on the radio, that's my daughter. I'm a graduate of Warren County. I am the actual graduate of 1995, which was the first year we graduated in this high school. So, and I'm a member of Centertown United Methodist Church. I sit on several committees. I am a high school Sunday school teacher there, youth leader. I coach my daughter's T-ball team. I've recently been elected as the vice president of the Centertown Elementary Parent Involvement Club, which is the same as the PTA or the PTO. I do several projects outside in the community. I'm always willing to work and do things for our community and sponsor several things through my business. And I'm just thankful for this opportunity and everybody to be out here tonight and asking for your vote on the August 2nd primary, or the general election. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Melanie Milstead, and I want to thank everyone for having us here tonight. I've gotten to know a lot of these kids. They hold a special place in my heart. My daughter's a senior here, Madison Jones. I have a son, Tristan Stone, who goes to Hickory Creek. I am the daughter of the late Pete Milstead and Diane Milstead. I have 2 siblings, Monica Milstead and Tyler Ramsey. I began my legal profession in 2002 when I began working at Fair Hall and Medley while I was completing my college degree in criminal justice with minors in psychology and paralegal. I was fortunate enough shortly after to get a job offer at the DA's office, the Child Support Division, where I currently work. I've been there for over 13 years, be 14 in June, just gotta throw that out there. I first was the court assistant where I got all the pleadings and everything ready to be filed with the court and talk to the customer, so I have customer service, which is good communication skills, I believe. But now, look, since the last 6 years, I have been the court assistant, which means I go to court in a courtroom 2 to 3 days a week, which means I do talk to the clerk's office often. Through this, I've gotten to know all the girls at the circuit court clerk's office. I know their wants, their needs, but I'm going to hold off on all that till the questions because I have a feeling that's what they're about to ask. I do have the experience and the education. I just need you guys to vote for me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Sherrill, and I'm running for Circuit Court Clerk, and I need your vote and support at the May 1st primary. I was born and raised here. I didn't graduate from this school. Yeah, I graduated from the Warren County Senior High, as we called it, back in '83. I went to Tennessee Tech, where I got my degree in political science back in 1988. And then I came to town, and I went to put in an ad at the Southern Standard for my mother for a yard sale, and 28 years later, I was still there working at the Southern Standard. But those 28 years I spent at the paper really helped me to be prepared for this job because I bring the experience that you need in this job. For 28 years, every day that I worked, I was at the clerk's office. I wasn't leaning on the bar. I was going behind and finding warrants, files, and whatever I needed for the stories that you read in the paper. So I know the clerk's office like the back of my hand, I really do. I also learned responsibility during that time. I've basically been on call for 24/7 since I worked at the Southern Standard. And a lot of that responsibility has been to you, the readers, because I know I'm responsible for every word that was put in that paper, just like the clerk's office the clerk will be responsible. I know what it's like to take some heat. I'm probably the most yelled at person in Warren County over the 28 years, so I've got a very thick skin, and you need that in the clerk's office because when people come there, they are not having a good day. They're there to pay fines. They may be going to jail pretty soon. So you need to have the thick skin. I'm also bringing innovation. We at the Southern Standard have done websites for the last, I guess about 7 or 8 years, and I helped pioneer those. And now you can go get your news immediately. You don't have to wait for the paper in your box. That innovation is going to help me do that at the clerk's office, as well as helping to take credit cards so you can pay from home. And what that does, it makes it more convenient on you, the consumer, but it also makes it better for the clerk's employees because it's less office visits. Also, one other thing I really want to do is I want to set up a dial where we can call our jurors. Now, you don't call in the school when it's snowing outside to see if you're having school. You don't do that. We can do that by calling our jurors when their trial's off, because 80% of all trials never go to court on their set date. The jurors are there, they're working for $10 a day, they're putting their lives on hold. I think we owe them that. Anyway, I'm Dwayne Sherrill. I think y'all already know me kind of, and I appreciate your vote on May 1st.
Thank you, candidates. We'll now move on to questions. We'll begin with Ms. Cassie. What relevant experience do you have related to this position that makes you a superior candidate?
I believe I am the most experienced candidate up here tonight. I have experience in working closely with that office. Like I said, I have drafted and filed pleadings in all different types of cases in the clerk's office as well as clerk's offices across the state. I have been directly involved in setting up technology, which is what we need in that clerk's office. I am very trustworthy, I'm dependable, and I have the experience of managing a fast-paced office. Thank you.
These are not my notes, these are Terry Smith, so I don't know. I'm not going to read off that. But the experience that I have for this office is just the experience of owning a small business for 15 years here in Warren County. Actually on two different sides of this county. For 8 years I was in Mount Leo area with a convenience store, and now I'm at Chris Springs Market for the past 7 years. And being the owner and the operator of any kind of small business, you realize that you have to make the tough decisions. You're the one, when they say the buck stop here, it does here. And if you make the wrong decision, it's going to cost you money. It's taking money out of your family. I have to work together with staff. I have about 8 employees that I employ right now, and you have different personalities that you deal with, and you have to learn how to operate, and you have to mesh with those people. And I have some great employees. I've had some that's been with me for over 10 years, and a couple that's been there with me for over 8. So I have the ability to know how to communicate with people, how to work with the staff, and how to make the decisions that need to be made with upgrading anything from technology, anything that we need to do. Thank you.
Will you repeat the question?
What relevant experience do you have related to this position?
Okay. I have had over 13 years, almost 14. I had to throw that in there because I'm just 3 months shy, 2 months shy now, in the legal field. I go to court 2 to 3 times a week. I talk, I interact with attorneys, the clerk's office. I even have one of them cell phone number. I talk to them all the time. I've got the experience. Let me put my degree to work for y'all. Y'all keep talking about education. I've got it. Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice with a minor in paralegal and psychology. Let me use it. Please let me use it. And that's all. Thank you.
Well, of course, my experience would be in the court system. I've been sitting through trials. We're talking murder trials, major trials, since I first walked in that court door 28 years ago. That's 28 years of real experience inside a courtroom. And that's also 28 years of knowing how to put my hands on anything I need to inside the clerk's office. They've given me unprecedented access to be able to go find what I need, because I know the employees there are very busy and that they shouldn't have to be looking up stuff for the newspaper. I do all that myself. But I think just the passion I have for the courts, because at some point it became more than a job working with the paper. It became a passion, and the courts are my passion. I look forward to sitting through trials, through jury selection and voir dire, to hearing the evidence, to waiting around, the tenseness of waiting for the jury to decide. It's passion. If you elect me, you're going to elect somebody who's passionate about the courts and passionate about that job. Thank you.
Our final question is, how will you work to modernize the current system we've used for years?
Currently, the clerk's office uses a program called Tensis, and I believe I know they've been scanning documents in since 2014, and we can use email. I know that's one of the ways that we can modernize this office. We would cut down on a lot of paper and cost, and I believe that using email and credit cards are just a must these days. An online filing system at some point in time would be great. I guess that's really it, just trying to make the technology more up to date and utilizing my experience to do that. Thank you.
I think all of us about have the same ideas on as far as upgrading the technology and things that can be done. I have a good friend that's a circuit court clerk in Marshall County, and she's invited me down in the next couple of weeks to go down and look at their systems. She's been in charge of updating their system over the past 4 years, and so she wants me to come down and look through it and get some ideas. And I agree on the email system where we can save a lot of paperwork, and Also, going on the juror thing, we can easily implement a plan where it's a text alert to jurors, like you're talking about the rotary call. It's very simple to implement. We can implement that very quickly when we get in. There are certain things that we can and can't do in this office. A lot of things are dictated by the state that we have to do and guidelines that we follow, but as far as the technology, there are so many things we can go, so many places we can go. I believe in, taking the credit cards, payments, and eventually going to online status for everything. And that'll take a while to implement, but it's something we can do. Thank you.
I would like to improve the circuit court clerk's office and update it to the 21st century. As I mentioned in my previous debate, there's already a website out there. It's warrencounty10.gov. It's out there. There's a spot for it. There's a spot for documents. All we have to do, now that everything is scanned in already, as Cassie said, get it over there. With that being said, once it's scanned, we can get emails out to attorneys, emails out to anybody, other counties, anything that needs transport orders, different stuff that I deal with, that emails are perfect. Also, when there's time frames on documents that need to be filed or answered back, that email right there is going to save it. And it gives them notification that we've checked it and we've got it. So emails are the key. That's going to be very important. That's going to update us so much. The next thing I want to talk about is the credit card and debit cards. I'm like everyone else. It's got to happen. I think it needs to be online and in the office. It'll be less cash, less work on the girls. Let's get smarter. Let's work smarter, not harder. That's my thinking. Vote Melanie Milstead for circuit court clerk in the Democratic primaries. Early voting April 11th through the 26th. And May 1st. Thank you. Have a great night.
Now, specifically, September 1st, we can start emailing right then. I mean, there's nothing to stop us from doing that. And also, we can go fairly quickly, I think, towards going to an online website. I helped do this at the Southern Standard. You can go on southernstandard.com and see what it's like right now. There's ways we can upload from various workstations in a drag and drop type style where it goes, once you're done, it goes up as a PDF. You can view it. And when we get a little bit more advanced, and this will be in the future, we can hyperlink the names of cases on there, click on the hyperlinks, and perhaps that will take you to the actual case. And that would be great. That's in the future, though. That's something we can't just do immediately. We can go to websites fairly quickly. We can start emailing, and we can start the work on using the cards. We've got to do that because people don't carry money. You've seen the commercial, what's in your wallet? Most of the time, it's not even $20 right now. We've got to be able to work with people. They're having a bad day already, so they've got to pay a fine. Let's let them pay it from home. Thank you. I'm Dwayne Sherrill. Vote for me, May 1st, in practice.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates, for joining us. You may now exit.
Thank you.